Today we're drawing Mario. This is my first attempt at drawing Mario, and we're going to begin with three basic shapes: a circle, a heart, and a bean shape. Let's get started. First, we're going to start with a circle for his head. Next, our very loose, very light heart shape. Do you see that? Next, we're going to draw our bean shape, and that bean shape is going to be for his body. Try to make sure that those two shapes touch each other, because Mario doesn't have much of a neck. Now we're using basic shapes to do our construction, so I'm going to start with a circle out here for his hand, his fist. I'm going to start with this circle for his fist. I'm going to bring this arm back, draw the arm there going into the side. A straight arm with just a slight curve here and a circle here for his fist, because this arm and hand is straight up in the air. And I'm not worried about any of the details for the fingers yet. Now I'm going to loosely and lightly draw his legs. For now, you can just kind of think of them as bent noodle shapes. Just like that. This looks like a little piece of macaroni noodle. And then I'm going to draw his shoes. Keep in mind, I'm just drawing these very lightly, loosely. I'm not bearing down on my pencil because in case I make a mistake, I can erase it. And lighter lines erase easier than heavier lines. Next, I'm going to come here and draw his ear, which is just back here in between this circle and his arm. So it's an oval shape for his ear. And I did it very lightly in case I need to move it or in case I need to make it bigger or smaller. S curve for the rim of his hat. And Mario's hat's a very fun shape. Kind of a doughy hat. All right, like that. So I'm going to add that shape here. So we have one curve, then a second curve that goes just past the shape for his head. Do you see that? There's the curve of his face, and the hat goes just past that. And this, the curve of the top of this hat, the top of the curve pushes forward. Okay? Next, I'm going to add his nose, and it's going to connect. You can draw kind of a tiny circle right there in between the curves of the heart shape. But I want that nose to come out as a very big round shape. Like that. Now, I'm going to take just a moment, let you look at this picture and see if you need to catch up. I'll give you just a moment to catch up. Now, I'm going to come in here. I'm working on the details of his face first. Okay, so he has two eyes. Do an oval here in between the ear and the nose, and an oval over here, which half is going to be cut off by his nose. And I can already see I got to move that ear out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, he has eyebrows, and these eyebrows are not connected to his head. They kind of float, free floating eyebrows, and they're elongated tear shapes like this. And they go just above those two ovals. I want to come in here, lightly draw his mustache, and it's a rectangular shape like this. So I'm just going to draw that first under his nose. Now I'll add the curved lines. He has 4 curved lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. And his mustache swoops up just a little bit. So in case you want to see that, slight curve up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. I'm going to come in just below his mustache and draw a U, large U shape that starts at the end of his mustache and goes all the way over to that 4th mustache curve and goes right in the middle of it. Okay, I'm going to draw just a little bit of a upper lip that goes just beneath the mustache. You don't have to do that, but I am, because I'm picky. And then I come in here in his mouth, and I'm going to draw his teeth and tongue. All right, so it's this shape: mouth, teeth, tongue. Do you see that? All right, now, he has a little bit of hair that sticks up from underneath his hat, but if you notice, the rim of this hat, I drew this S-curve. I need to raise it just a little bit because it's really almost covering that eye. So I'm just going to lift it up just a little bit. There we go. And then he has a little showing of hair here, a little sideburn, and it's got 2 curves that come out like that. 1, 2. All right. I need the top of this earlobe to just touch the rim of the hat, so I need to make it just a little bit bigger. Like that. Curve his chin and jaw just a little bit. Bring out the curve of his cheek slightly. All right, now I want to square out his hat just a little bit because it's a little too round. Bring it up and curve. Up and curve. Then we have our S-curve shape and a circle right here because an M for Mario goes right in the middle of it. Okay? Now, eyes are tricky. So he has these 2 ovals here, and this mustache kind of curves up into it just a little too much, but that's okay. Just make a correction. That's why we draw loose and light. He's looking up and to the corner, so I'm going to add an oval here inside that pupil and then inside this pupil. So if his eyes are like this, oval, oval, oval inside, like that. Okay? So I'm just going to shade those in very lightly. Going to shorten his chin just a little bit. Now I'm going to draw a curved line inside the ear, just like that. Curve out his nose a little bit. Now add another layer to his hat rim that shows the edge of the hat, like that. Okay? I'm going to come in here, shade in his mouth. Like that. And then his hair, like that. Okay, I don't normally do the shading first, but I want us to make sure we get his head right before we move on to the rest of the body, because the head is the hardest part, I'll be honest. Okay, take just a moment. How does your Mario head look? Now, let's come in here and work on his body. It's just this bean shape here. He has suspenders on, so I'm going to come right over the edge of that shoulder, add a rectangle and a circle for the button of the suspenders, and then again over here on the edge, circle for the button. Draw a line across, and then I've got to draw the arm, where the arm comes out of the suspenders. So there's a suspender strap, and there's a suspender strap. I'm going to do the hands last, okay? So let's come down here and work on his legs. This leg is behind his body, and this leg is in front. Okay? So you're not going to see this part. You're just going to see the end of his leg here. And then you will see, so I can erase this part that we kind of see through the bean shape there for his body. So we come down, kind of have a little bit of a knee indication that bends up. Now we're going to do this curve shape here. So it's actually a little bit of an S curve, just very subtle. Tip of the S up over the knee and down. And then his pant cuffs have a little bit of an S curve shape to them because they're going to go over his shoe. So curve and back. Do you see that S shape? Just like that. Then I'm going to come up to the knee and down to the rest of the body. Do you see that? S curve, curve line, S curve, S curve. Now, let's work on his shoe. All right, so it curves out like this. And you can keep it really simple and just do a shape that's similar to this, kind of like a bean or a potato, or like that. But it curves right here for the toes, out, down, and then I want to cut straight down for the bottom of the foot, and then bring that down just a little bit for the heel, for the front of the foot, for the bottom of the shoe. Okay. Do the same thing out here. It's this shape. Flat on the bottom, curve the front. Draw the sole of the shoe, the heel, and the front of the foot. Just like that. Okay? Mario has a little bit of a line here where the suspenders have a seam, and then it has a seam that goes right down the pant leg here and here. Then I'll have a curved line there. Take just a moment, let you catch up. Now let's work on his arms and hands. The arms are simple, curved line straight up, because this one's shooting through the air because he's really happy. Mario really likes to jump. Now, I'm going to keep these as simple as I possibly can. Hands are very tricky. So I'm going to go slow. All right. I'm going to divide this in half. So I have this circle shape, and then I kind of squared the edges. Divided this in half because these are going to be the top fingers, and the thumb is going to come right here and divide that line. So we start right here at the back of the wrist, curve up and down, and then we're going to do the fingers, the other fingers here. Start right here at the end of that thumb, up and down for one finger, up and down for two fingers, up and down for three fingers, up and down for four fingers. And I'm going to lightly finish out those fingers, okay? And they come just down to where I did that dividing line for his hand. Like that. I'm going to add a curve here for the palm, and then Mario's got gloves on, so I'm going to add the end of the gloves right there to the bottom of that hand. Now we'll come over here and do the same thing here. Here's his arm coming out. I'm going to square off his hand just a little bit. I'm going to start right here with his thumb. I want to just go ahead and divide that circle out. This thumb curves down like that. Now I'm going to come over here and add his fingers. Starting on this middle line, go down and curve up, down and curve up, down and curve up, down and curve up. Okay. Hands are tricky, so don't get frustrated if it takes you a few times to erase those lines and get it right. Then I'm going to come in and draw the edge of that glove. Okay. And I'm going to erase my construction line there. All right. How does your Mario look so far? Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to shade his shoes and maybe do a light shade on his pants and maybe his shirt also. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to shade. Start on his pants here, and I want to do a zigzag shade, pressing down, kind of a medium pressure, because his pants are blue jeans. Now you need to practice making those lines parallel, uniform, and consistent. And that just takes time. Okay, now I'm coming into his shoes. Shoes are going to be, I'll do them just a little bit lighter than his pants. So lighten up on my pressure on my pencil. All right, I'll go ahead and just do a very light shading on his shirt here. Very light. So I'm just going to kiss the paper with my pencil just to give it a tint of a shade. His shirt is red, but his hat is also red, so I need to mirror the shade here on his hat. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit of a shade on his nose. And I'm going to flesh out the M just a little bit more on his hat. Color in that M. Take just a moment, see if you need to catch up anywhere. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, consider supporting this project on Patreon.